Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be 10 things that a narcissistic person will do to punish you so that you can recognize that they are doing these things to punish you and stay out of their games. One of the most hurtful things about this is that a narcissistic person is doing these things to punish you more often than not for the very things that they've actually done to you. And as they're punishing you, you go to try and communicate with them, to try and resolve things with them. However, nothing gets resolved with a narcissistic person because they're not looking for your understanding. They're looking for your compliance. They're looking for your agreeableness. They don't want you to have your own thoughts, feelings, or opinions. They want you to live life on their terms. And whenever you're not living life on their terms, they're going to find a way to punish you. And whenever you try to call them out on their behaviour, they're going to then turn into the victim to make you feel bad for calling them out on the very things that they're doing to you to make you feel even worse, so that you work harder and harder and harder to attain the impossible of pleasing a narcissistic person while they do less and get away with hurting you all the more. So one way a narcissistic person will punish you is by withholding things from you. Whether that's withholding financial resources, whether that's withholding affection, whether that's withholding attention. And this isn't just because someone's busy or because people have rights to do these sorts of things. This is where you might have achieved something, when people who are there for you, supportive of you, love and care about you, would be proud of you, would praise you as you would them. Unless you're someone that doesn't like praise, and then they might understand this and just say, well done, we'll leave you alone. However, with a narcissistic person, they're envious of things that you achieve. Therefore, they're going to go all out to not give you the recognition that you deserve, or they're going to twist it onto somehow you wouldn't have been able to achieve it without them. Or if you're going to celebrate, they're going to go all out to ruin the celebration, to put you in a mood, to make you feel bad. If you're busy doing something, and they will pick the most inappropriate time to have a conversation with you about something or to get intimate with you. They will pick the most inappropriate time. You might have your children around. So when you naturally say no to them, which isn't to withhold, it's out of respect for what you're doing, and you wouldn't approach them if they were busy doing something because you know they're busy. A narcissist will come and do this knowing full well that you're going to say no, to play straight into their hands so they can turn around and say, well, don't come to me later. And then later they're going to disappear on you and ignore you and make you feel bad for saying no to them because they feel entitled, and you should just say yes to them. And if you don't say yes to them, they're going to punish you. Another way they punish you is by criticizing you, by mocking you, by judging you, by humiliating you, putting you down. Narcissistic people are some of the most highly sensitive people you could ever meet, and it doesn't take much to criticize them because they believe they're always right. So when you don't agree with them, they take offense to this. When you have a different perspective to them, they take offense to this. When you have facts, they take offense to this because they believe they're right. So they're going to go all out to make you feel stupid, to put you in your place so that they can feel superior to you. They will humiliate you in front of other people just so they can feel smug within themselves. Rage is another way a narcissistic person will punish you, so you fear them. Narcissistic people get triggered very easily, and there's nothing you can do to avoid this. This is who they are as a person, because they're unwilling to discuss things, because they're unwilling to find that mutual ground, because they're unwilling to explain things, because they're unwilling to be understood and unwilling to understand you. They take things as criticism, and then they seek to punish you. So when you ask them about something, or when you call them out on something, they're going to take offence to this, and they're going to rage out at you, and they're going to justify this rage by claiming that you made them. They're going to turn into the victim in the situation, so that people can't speak out about how they're raging out, because they've turned into the victim. They push you to a point where you might rage out at them. However, you feel remorseful. You blame yourself. You question yourself. You don't turn around and say, you made me do it. And it's very difficult afterwards for a survivor to put responsibility back onto the rightful owner, because they're that used to questioning and doubting and blaming themselves, often from the programming done to them by a narcissistic person. Passive aggressive. When they agree to do something with you, and then all of a sudden they start procrastinating and they can't be bothered, and you might feel bad for them, especially if they're sulking about something. You might feel like they're under pressure. You might give them the benefit of the doubt. However, they are going to repeatedly sulk and be lazy to get out of doing something for you. However, if it's something where they will gain something, all of a sudden they're no longer depressed and sulking. They can quite happily get on with their day. Or they're going to fall silent on you to punish you, so that you can't communicate with them, to make you feel like you've done something to hurt them, because to them you have. They just don't recognise the part they play in it all, and they're not willing to communicate, to get that understanding. They just want you to agree with them and live life on their terms. Threats, intimidation. When they're not getting their own way, they might turn around and say, well, who'd love you? How would you survive without me? Especially if they've taken all your resources or your financial resources, and they've put their name, the home is solely in their name, the cars are solely in their name, unless they've got a loan out or got you to get a loan out and put it in your name, so that you're the one that's got to pay for the loan. However, they'll still take the car with them. So narcissistic people will threaten you even with things such as, who's going to look after the children? You'll never see the children again, to get you to conform to their demands. And they can simply just stand in the doorway and block you from leaving the room until they've finished raging out at you. Smear campaigns. When a narcissistic person can no longer control you, they're going to go all out to control how those around you see you. So they are going to smear your name. They're going to accuse you of doing everything to that narcissist that narcissist has done to you. They're going to accuse you of withholding. They're going to accuse you of being abusive. They're going to accuse you of spending all the money. They're going to accuse you of having addictions of some form, which you might have developed from the stress you were under, or the pressure that if they're a drinker, you must drink with them. Because with that threat and that intimidation, narcissistic people make it incredibly difficult for you to say no to them, because when you say no to them, they punish you, because they want you to go along with how they want you to live your life to serve them. So they punish you by smearing your name, to isolate you from people, to get you to defend and explain yourself, in which case you're then playing a part in their games. It's very difficult, but when it comes to the smear campaign, we have to show people by our actions that the narcissist is lying, and not by our words, and let the narcissist do their own damage. Bragging, flaunting. When they move on, and some can move on incredibly quick, most will have moved on before the relationship is even over. No one falls in love faster than a narcissist who needs a place to live. And some will hide it from you to cause that intrigue, to get you going. And some are going to really flaunt it in your face, because it's a human emotion to feel that anger and that resentment and that bitterness, to which they're going to turn around and accuse you of being jealous and bitter, so that they can smear your name and paint you out to be the bad one, even though they're the one that cheated on you. And they're going to flaunt that new supply in your face to rub it in, to get you going, to wind you up, to punish you for not conforming to their demands of you. And they're going to gaslight you. Not only are they going to gaslight you, they're going to gaslight those around you. They're going to gaslight you. When they rage out at you, they're going to turn around and tell you to stop overreacting. When they cheat on you, they're going to claim that you're the one that's got the trust issues. When they fall silent on you, they're going to accuse you of not giving them enough space. Yet when you give them the space, they accuse you of not giving them enough attention. So you cannot win with them. When you rage out at them because you've finally snapped, they're going to accuse you of being the one who's going crazy. They're going to gaslight your reality to punish you for coming too close to the truth. And they're going to blame you. They're going to blame you not only for your own mistakes, errors in judgment and things that go wrong in your life, because we do all make a fair few mistakes along the way, tough life lessons. A narcissistic person is going to blame you for everything they do wrong. Also, if you'd have paid more attention, if only you hadn't, if only you didn't. They're going to twist everything onto you to shift the blame over to you, so that they don't have to take responsibility for their behaviour. And as they don't take responsibility for their behaviour, they don't recognise their behaviour. And if they do, they're not taking responsibility. So they're not going to change their behaviour. They're just going to change their lies in order to get away with their behaviour. They're going to change their punishment in order to get away with their behaviour, to get one over on you. There is nothing you can do to help them. The more you try to help them, the more you're actually enabling their behaviour. Sometimes we do have to distance ourselves physically and go no contact with them. Sometimes that's not always possible, in which case we need to detach from them, recognise the games they play, go limited contact and grey rock, and leave them to it. Because the more you try to help them, the more we are actually enabling them to do their worst to us. We don't see that while we live it. It's one of those things where when you walk into a narcissistic relationship, you don't see it, you don't know what's happening, and it is not your fault, and it takes you a long time to get back out of it. And when you do get back out of it, you might walk straight back into it when they come with the hoover and the false apologies, or you might walk straight back into it with somebody new. Again, you don't see it, you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the understanding, you don't have the awareness. It is not your fault. It takes time to see what they're doing to you. And once you can see what they're doing to you is when you have to learn a different approach in dealing with it. It takes time to learn a new approach because we get stuck on our own patterns of how to handle things, how to react to things. So it takes time to learn that new approach. However, if we don't try a different route, we don't go in a different direction. If we stick to the same method, we end up at the same place. And yes, we make mistakes when we're trying new things. However, if we don't give it a go, we don't learn anything new. So when you go in no contact, we might make mistakes. Don't be too hard on yourself. Just start again. When doing grey rock, they might really push your button so that you react. Don't be too hard on yourself. These are normal human emotions. Just start again. It's not that easy when you live in it. However, it is possible, and the more you make it possible, the easier it becomes. If anyone has any thoughts on this video, please do add those into the comments. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot come no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.